So welcome to this grand tour of the Travel Hub collection. If you don't know me, I'm Sammy and I head things up here. Anita Powell is our founder, and the Africa Hub Travel Hub collection was actually born during the pandemic. So if I just quickly give you some context to who we are, Anita Powell runs a very successful sales and representation company called Small World Marketing, based here in the UK. And during the pandemic, as we all were locked up at home, she was doing presentations on her clients. And one of the agents had been pulled over from the Latin America team to start selling Africa. During the pandemic, everyone ended up moving around, being pulled out of teams, ended up doing something different. But she ended up doing destination training for those agents on Africa specifically. I came on board to help launch the Africa Hub as its own individual brand. And then in the rest of the team, we've developed to grow to include Laura Dale, lovely Laura, and lovely Michelle. So we are a tiny but mighty team. So just going back again to a bit more about who we are and where we came from. So as I say, during the pandemic, there was a lot of lost knowledge, a lot of people moving out of the respective teams and suddenly having to sell something that they didn't necessarily know about. As places started opening up, you had a lot of people diversifying their offering. And with an Africa background, I came on to launch the Africa Hub with Anita. So obviously having an access to a tool that was helping you to keep up to date with information on the ground, we basically created a platform for that using our connections in Africa and the Indian Ocean to curate content to effectively keep people in touch and up to date on destination training knowledge, which was important to keep those businesses going. So obviously the real cost of the pandemic really was in a loss of sales, people losing that knowledge, fan trips not being able to happen, misunderstanding all the developments on the ground. And what we have done is created a platform for you to access, which is completely free, so that you can feel in touch and get that training from the experts on the ground. So like I say, we've got 28 different destinations that we've got live so far across Africa and the Indian Ocean. Our monthly views on the site are over 3,000 unique views. So it is a resource that's being used worldwide. I can't believe we've nearly hit 100 webinars to date. It certainly keeps me busy, and by the middle of September, we'll have hit 100. So that's very exciting. In terms of our audience, over 5,200 individuals from 100 countries. So we are a very, very global network. We have also just won our second award for being the best training platform for the travel trade. So watch this space as well to learn about that. But we are delighted because it really has formed into this resource that individuals are needing and accessing on a daily basis. So the Travel Hub collection is the main brand, and then as you will probably know of us better, the Africa Hub was our first brand that we launched. We then launched the Indian Ocean Hub in January of this year, and if I can manage to clone myself, then hopefully by the beginning of next year and the middle of next year, we'll be launching respectively the Middle East Hub and the Latin America Hub. So if you do also sell those regions, then keep an eye out for that. Having membership to the Travel Hub collection will give you access to all of our resources for free forever. So like I say, completely free to access. All you need to do is register for an account with us. If you do already have one, but you haven't seen the new website, please do reset your password and then you'll be able to get access. Otherwise, simply register for an account. Let's go ahead and explore. So this is the Travel Hub collection. The main site itself is hosted on a very basic URL. So just to give you context, we have actually had to launch all of our hubs onto separate websites. That is because of the amount of content that we've got on them. So with your one login, you will be able to access all the different sites. It should talk to each other, but if it doesn't, you'll just be prompted to log in again, but the details are the same for all. So we do have big growth plans, as you can see. And then on this page, you'll also be able to see new additions in terms of destinations, accommodation, and our webinars that are coming up. So that's where you can access all of that. But if we navigate to our two hubs, all you have to do is click on the hubs button, and then you can navigate to our respective hubs. So let's go ahead and log in. I have logged in successfully. Fantastic. So if we go over to the Indian Ocean Hub, There's a little bit less content on here, but I will show you the majority of the content which is on the Africa Hub. We'll be migrating across both platforms today. So on our destination section, like I say, to navigate the site, it will be identical, so you'll be familiar with it. So in the Indian Ocean, we also have Sri Lanka and the Maldives. So it's those extensions away from Africa as well. Great to combine the two. So if we have a look at the Reunion page, La Réunion. I wish I had a great French accent, but I don't. So this is how you can navigate each of the destination pages. And like I say, all of the content on the site has been curated for us by experts on the ground. Here on the left-hand side, you've got the navigation bar. This is where you'll find all of the additional resources for this destination. So you've got a full hour-long presentation on the destination, but obviously time is poor, so we've made those into bite-sized sections for you. You can think of them a bit like a chapter in a book. So if you just wanted to learn about one particular part of the island, that's where you can catch up on that little bite-sized section. So all of our destinations across Africa Hub and the Indian Ocean Hub have this format. So you know, if you just want to learn about one particular part, then you can go and have a look for it in the bite-sized section. I also want to bring your attention to another resource that we've got here, which is our country catch-up. So this started out during the pandemic as an update on those PCR rules and all those good things. But now what we've done is curated content so that every few months we get an up-to-date a webinar with our destination experts on the ground, giving 5 minutes of new product launches, any new access routes, flights, experiences. So you really feel like you've got your finger on the pulse. So those will live here on the right-hand side as well. So do catch up on those. Under the resources section, you've got sample itineraries and fact sheets. These are to be considered your bread and butter for the destination. So if this is a completely new space for you, it's how to combine the different areas best together, the most requested and successful itineraries that you can design. So who it's for, highlights, an overview, you've got maps, and then a day-by-day itinerary. So like I say, this is great as a starting point. And if you do have your own product that you will be designing for your own clientele, this is just a great way for you to understand how to combine the different areas. We have done the same thing with the fact sheets as well. So although you may want to use your friend Google to look up stuff, what we've done is asked our destination experts to give us verified content. So you've got your key facts, accessibility, who it's for, when to go, packing lists, and then factual information about the different regions. So rather than it being everything's fluffy and beautiful marketing speak, these are factual content so that you can actually get a grip and a handle on the destination itself from an agent's perspective. So it's really a B2B resource that will help you in your sales journey. Under the map section, we've got some great maps that you can have a look at so you can get that broader context of the destination. Under the marketing toolbox, you'll get sample social medias that you might be able to use to promote the destination. So if there's news that comes out of the space, or if you just wanted to launch a new destination, what we've created for you is a downloadable social media toolbox with 12 social media captions already ready for you to go ahead and use. So what we've done is curated a PDF that you can download that has those suggested hashtags, tourism board ads, and then social media captions already written for you with all the emojis apparently, and credits as well. So you know exactly where the image has come from and you can credit the relevant photographer. These images also go off to a Dropbox that has those images resized for social media. So it's a really quick way if you are looking to launch a new destination to go ahead and do that. We are also very conscious that video content is king. So we are going to be adding to this area as well, but we will let you know when that is live. Here you'll also see a gallery. Again, royalty-free images. All you need to do is acknowledge where they've come from. So this would be the tourism board in La Réunion. So just make sure that if you are going to be using any of the images throughout the Travel Hub Collection site, that you're acknowledging where those images have come from, and it will be clear. Under the when to go section, you've got a snapshot of what's happening across the destination at any particular month. And we've broken that down into the travel experience, the game experience, what the birds are doing, anything relevant for that particular destination. Again, very conscious that for bigger countries like South Africa, having a general overview is one thing, having a deep dive is another. So we are developing a much more deep dive into the different regions within each country. But this, as a general thumbs up, really does help you to know exactly what it is that you're looking at if someone inquires on the day. So after our destinations have been explored, I'm now delighted to showcase the accommodation hub. This was born out of feedback from you guys, basically saying, now that we know the destinations, where can we sell? What product is it that we can use? Now, my background is very much firmly a tour operator space. I set up the Africa department at Jakarta Travel, a very well-known tour operator here in the UK. And when I was building the team, it was very easy for me to say to one of my colleagues who's traveled, can you remember the name of that place that has that thing that does the what's it? And that was really easy for us to then share that knowledge. As I'm sure many of you know, working from home, you kind of forget what has certain things, if it's got a pool, if it's got a gym. So I wanted to create a space for agents to come in and find exactly what they're looking for their particular client. Obviously, as well, with fam trips being on hold, how can you know exactly what you're selling? So first of all, you can navigate using our full property list. So this is broken down per country. So you can literally navigate to the country and then you've got a list of the product, where they are, and then you've got a direct link to their listing. But it goes deeper than that. We've also got my filters. So you've got your country, your region. You can filter by type of travel. So if you're looking for specifically beach, cruises, exclusive use, family friendly, honeymoons, you name it. Board basis, obviously for those Indian Ocean islands, really important to be able to figure out which properties are also all inclusive or just bed and breakfast, etc. From price per person in US dollars, so that you understand when you've got a client, whatever level they're at, you will be able to find product that accommodates to them. Under our facilities, you can filter by general as well as room. So like I say, if you've forgotten which product has a dedicated kids club or a gym for your crazy gym person, or direct access to the beach, because not all product has that, you can literally navigate using a whole variety of filter options that allow you to find the perfect product. If it's a honeymoon suite, interconnecting rooms, large product, small product, rooms with a bath, which is one of my favorite qualities. And then activities, so land and air versus water. So if you're looking for something that's specifically related to a client's inquiry, kite surfing, paddle boarding, sunset cruises, whale watching, you name it. And the same goes for land and air. So this is obviously across Africa. You can look for any type of activity across Africa and the Indian Ocean for those products. Sustainability credentials as well. I'm sure that you guys get asked this a lot. You know, I'm looking for a product that has those sustainability credentials. Fantastic, you can go ahead and use those. Like I say, the list is extensive, so let's just check out hideaways. Once you land onto a listing, this isn't just promoting these destinations. What they are is a training tool for you to learn how to sell the product with confidence. So here you've got your insider tips. Basically, these have been given to us by the property to help you to sell it while you're on the phone to the client. So it's tangible information about why you should go there, as if you've been on a fam trip. You've got any closure dates, which might be seasonal related. The last time that this page was updated by the product, not by us as a team, but by them, so that you know that the data is up to date. Here you've got links back to the product, an overview of the room breakdown. If you've got a client on the phone that's a family inquiry, you can have a quick look at any respective kids stuff, if there are any minimum ages that you need to consider, if it's part of a collection, and any year-round offers that you could potentially upsell while you're on the phone to the client. And the testimonials, you've got third-party testimonials. We've got video and written content on some of our listings, but this is a DMC or a tour operator or a travel agent that's been to the product and can tell you why they love it, who it's for, and who it's not for. So like I say, the platform is a B2B platform, so it really is others telling you why they love that product. Under the training and webinars, you've then got a full presentation on the property. So let's just say you went to a trade show and you met with 30 different beautiful products. How are you supposed to remember the detail? This is how. You can come onto the site, find the product that you're looking at, watch the full presentation, and then even better is you can learn about the area, because obviously context is king. So you're not only selling a property, but you're selling where it is in the world. So we've put those little bite-sized sections that you saw on the destination pages in here for you, that's respectively related to the product. Here you've got two really important buttons as well. So if you love hideaways and you want your entire team to have some personal training on it, all you have to do is click the button and it will open up an email that takes you to the person who's going to be able to help you with that. So no more wasting time looking for a contact to do that training for you. The same goes with our ask a question button. So again, if you've just got a quick question, do they take kids under 4? This will go to the right person who'll be able to answer your query. Under the gallery, you've got your hero shot and a property gallery for that particular hotel or lodge. This goes off to either their gallery, or if you're familiar with the Whetu platform, it will go off to that. But this then means that you've got all of those high-res images that you can easily access to get into your sales and marketing collateral, or indeed into your itineraries themselves. The start selling is one of my favorite buttons. So, again, sitting in an office with your colleagues, you can be like, I've got this property, but what works well with it in a circuit? And so what we've done is we've given you 3 itineraries, 3 product options that work well in a circuit. We don't select these. Again, this is coming from the property itself. So what we've done is hyperlinked these back to their respective product. So let's just check out Saseka. And then you've got that listing. So it really does help you to navigate your way around an itinerary. So if we go back to start selling here. So what we do with those suggested products is put them into an itinerary through Safari Portal. So you can get a level of learning on how you can put that itinerary together. You've got your maps, you've got an overview of the destination as well as the product. Excuse me. So it really gives you that extra level of learning as well. Then you've got your agent information button. So this usually goes off to a Dropbox, or as you can see, Thorny Bush have put together a beautiful interactive PDF that has links in it for you. This is great for fact sheets, rates, anything that you might need to know, but rather than having to download it and put it onto your computer and clutter it all up and then know that in 6 months' time it'll be out of date, here you've got up-to-date information on that property, which is live and lasting. So that's really great. It's a super button to remember you have. And then the availability link. So some of them have access directly to the reservations teams. Some go through to a res request or Knightsbridge, and therefore, no matter what time zone you're in, you can actually email or you can check out the live availability for those properties themselves. Under the getting there, you've got location maps and how to get there, sales and marketing collateral. So you've got any promotional content that they've got specifically for the property. If you do Zoom or Teams views with your clients, you can go ahead and use this to showcase the property and get them excited and hopefully across the line. Under the filters tab, this is also really useful if you've been quoted an itinerary by one of your partners on the ground and you're not so familiar, but you're trying to get the client across the line. You can have this sheet up, and if they ask you a particularly specific question, like, if they have a spa, then you can have a quick squiz and see actually, yes, they do. And it really helps you to feel confident, but also allows the client to feel like you know what you're talking about. Contact details, again, you've got 3 contacts that you can reach out to directly. Obviously, if you've already got your contact with the DMC on the ground, that's one way to negotiate your conversations. However, if you also want to reach out directly and just let them know that it's your client or they've got a particular habit of whatever, you might want to communicate that directly. This is where you can do that. So that's the accommodation hub, but we are super excited to let you know that we have recently also launched our sub hubs. Now let's see whether it's going to ask me to log in again. It might. Let me just try and do that. Like I say, sometimes it might just be like, nope, I need you to log in again, but it is the same details. So that was a lovely example of that. So under our sub hubs, we've got Activity Hub, DMC Hub, the Flight Hub, and our Tourism Board. So they all very much work in the same way as our Accommodation Hub. Please bear with us. We are populating it as quickly as our 3 little bodies can. You'll see that the activities, the filters is slightly different as its look and feel for this. That's because we have a brand new filter system that we're migrating things over to. It's much quicker and much more immediate in terms of return of results. So please bear with us while we do that. But as you can see for the activities, you've got all of those really useful drop downs. So is it a case of your client having a particular language that they want a guide to be able to speak when they're on that tour? Team languages. So again, who are you speaking to internally at the company that you're hosting with the activity? You've got all the air-based activities, all the water-based activities, all the cultural activities, and we are desperately trying to find as many as we can to list on here that you can trust. So currently we've got these 8, we will be adding more. So if we go ahead and check out Escape and Explore, for example, in South Africa, you'll get an overview of the activity provider, backlinks to their website, when they were established, obviously when they were last updated. And then a very similar look and feel to the accommodation hub. So you've got your testimonials, you've got the activity offering. So you've got a full presentation by Ingram there. You can request training or just ask a question. You've got your galleries again, sales and marketing collateral that you might want to go ahead and promote or get your client across the line, agent info, how it fits into an itinerary. If they've got any presence in the press, that'll just help you to understand it a bit more. Filters and contact details. So you'll really become familiar with the way that we've laid all of these resources out. The DMC Hub, obviously we've got our fantastic destination experts who have been helping us to curate our content, but they're not all going to suit you as a business. So what we've done is opened up a DMC hub so that you can find a DMC that suits you and your company specifically. Now, this is much more populated because there are so many amazing companies on the ground who can help you specifically. So the criteria for that is what languages they speak, obviously what country they operate in, what services they offer. Now, this could be critical for you. Do they do accommodation only? If you've got a guest on the ground who has their own vehicle or you've got your rental agreement in place, do they do activities and excursions or just accommodation? Do they offer multi-country itineraries? That could be, again, a game changer for you to know how to combine a trip and make sure that you're paying one invoice at the end of the day. Privately guided VIP services, you name it. How many employees they've got? It might matter to you that they're a big company. It might matter to you that they're a small company. Again, your sustainability credentials. If you've got a particular price budget that your clientele fall within, that's great for you to understand if they can cater to you and again, your type of client. So if we go ahead and check out these listings, again, each listing has been curated to work with the product that we're listing. So ATI Holidays, you've got the full presentation from the team on what they deliver as a DMC, how old the company is, their agent zone link. Not all DMCs do have one, but where there is one, we link out to it so you can have a look at that. In our testimonial section, again, other agencies that are using it so that you feel confident booking with it. By the way, we do also run a comprehensive list of criteria that we ensure all of our DMCs adhere to so that you can feel comfortable booking them and knowing that they've been consolidated on the site. In terms of our collateral, again, what kind of itinerary is it that they send to you and how is that going to look for you to put it into your own systems? What is the itinerary going to look like so that you could potentially share that with your clients? So this is ATI's quote, nicely broken down. You can see all of their inclusions. That might really matter to you in terms of the detail that you're extending to your guest, your end client. And then the itineraries, so you can see exactly what that's going to look like. And if you need to send that over to your client, then that's great. Good to know. This is really as a thumbsuck, as a business owner or someone who's operating with it, there will be ways for you to know if they've got a minimum night requirement, if they're independently owned and managed, where they've got physical offices. Laura always says, wouldn't it be great that you can pop in and go and see them? Yes, that would be amazing. Dedicated account managers, what their insurance liability cover is, so that again, if you have a minimum requirement, that is listed so you can, before you even reach out, know exactly what it is that you're dealing with. Again, you've got your filters. So if you found them through one criteria, you can see actually they do quite a lot of different countries, all of their different services that they offer, their different languages, and then your contact details. So again, you can reach out directly if you need to. Last but certainly not least, oh my goodness, we've still got 2 hubs to go through. Oh, this is me and my new flow. I'm not used to it yet. The flight hub I'm super excited about. So at the moment, we've only got charter flights, but I am really pushing for commercial airlines to join. And as I say, expanding this, you can navigate by the country that they're based in or the type. So this is either a private charter, shared charter, or commercial airline. I'm really excited. One of these tabs is basically the best thing ever in the whole wide world, if I do say so myself. So Grametier, you've got the presentation on who they are, if they're private or shared. And then you've got a VIP meet and greet, yes or no, how many aircraft in the fleet, how old the company is, where they operate to. Then you've got a route map, so you can actually see specifically where they operate. Again, you've got your training and sales, so this is where you can learn more about who they are with your agent information, testimonials, this one's obviously coming, and my aircraft tab. I love this tab so much. So you can see what type of aircraft they've got, speed, turboprop or other, how many pilots they have, how many people, and if they've got a loo on board. It's the worst thing when you get on a plane and you're like, oh my God, there's no toilet. Anyway, that's just me. Then you've got your gallery. So obviously you've got your images and you've got your full gallery there. And then sales and marketing collateral once again. So we have tried to make them as templated as possible so you know where to navigate. The next tab is luggage. So as I'm sure many of you who know Africa will know, knowing the luggage allowance can be a bit of a bugbear. So what we've done is made sure that's listed here as well, with detail on the size and also what they expect. So some of those aircraft are pretty tiny. So you're going to have to make sure that you explain that to the client to say, look, it's got to be a duffel bag because it's going to get punched in there under the plane. Then you've got your contact details. Now, I don't have a commercial listing to show you just now, but the primary difference is going to be on the aircraft side, you're going to see how many classes they've got. So if it's just economy, if they've got economy, business, first class, etc. And then on the luggage, there's going to be a navigable tab that lets you know which class has which allowance. So how many bags, how big they must be, and how heavy, etc. So that's all on the commercial one. So watch this space once I get a commercial airline across the line. Our tourism board space, we've also got, because obviously launching the Travel Hub collection, we had to work with the private sector to get things done and make sure that there was continuity in terms of the product that we were delivering. Now, obviously, we really want to make sure that the tourism boards are getting that visibility and they've got the official stuff to help you promote those destinations with confidence. So we are onboarding them as we can. So let's go ahead and check out St. Helena, for example. If you haven't been, you should. And if you didn't know I've been, where have you been? My Instagram is just basically me doing this, being like, look how pretty it is. So yes, you've got a full overview, you've got backlinks. An agent zone link is effectively there for some destinations have back-end access basically for agents to access their detail. So that's there, and then you've got your visa details. So again, if you've got a particular nationality client that you're working with, you can go ahead and check out what their visa requirements are through their official link. Again, where they've got their office locations. My access tab, again, slightly different to the airlines because this is where we list the airlines that you have flying in. In fact, I'm just going to slightly navigate from that and show you the Cape Town one because you'll see it is quite different. So under my access here, you've got all the ones that are coming in from Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, etc. But the difference here on the St. Helena one is there's only one airline that flies in twice a week. And then you've got your image. So we're basically trying to get a map as well to help you understand the logistics of getting to the country. Then you've got your gallery, again with your official gallery link, sales and marketing collateral. If they've got any found trips upcoming, this is where they will be listed so you can reach out and express your interest. And then your contact details if you did want to have any PR opportunities or reach out to them directly for any collateral, that's where you can do that. We're not quite done, folks. I am going to answer any questions that I've seen popping up, so please bear with me. Under the sales support section, this is where we've put all of our themed webinars. So during the pandemic, obviously we had the destination training, but a lot of agents then said to us, look, we need a bit more help because we aren't so sure on X, Y, Z. So we did a full webinar on how and why to sell Africa, for example. So if you're onboarding new team members and they really are starting from scratch, this is where you can go. So you head over to the webinars section, and again, you've got your full webinar with those bite-sized sections. So you can just quickly and easily navigate. Maps, additional resources, you've got all of those sorts of things. But then we went into more of a deep dive. So how to understand gorilla trekking. If you've never done it, it's really hard to sell. And I can attest to that because I've had to do it a few times. And sometimes you just get asked really pernickety questions. So under the webinar section here, we went through the experience and what to expect, when to go, what to pack and wear, age considerations, health considerations, on it goes. We also have maps as well. And then in our resources section, which my internet's deciding to freak out over, we also do these different resources that might help you. So each webinar is different. So here you've got a comparison of the different gorilla habitats, for example. So you can see the different areas you can go gorilla hiking, and then what the difference is, especially when you're doing that sell, understanding the difference between them, because you might get asked that. Understanding the difference between the two different species, which again, I didn't realize that there were two different species until we did it. Packing lists, vital for you to have to hand. You can curate your own using the resources we've got. And then social media, we've got those as well. Obviously, any experts that you might want to reach out to through that. Our sponsored spotlight showcases product that you can actually use as part of your itinerary. So the same concept, sorry, too many tabs. The same concept goes for all of our webinars. We did one on exclusive use and family travel. Inclusive travel, how to sell Africa to people in a wheelchair, kosher travel, gay travel, off the beaten track in Tanzania. Really great way to understand those two national parks and how to sell them. We did a back-to-back on the different itinerary builders that you might want to know how to implement in your business. Sustainability and travel, the Great Migration. This was really cool because we put together a map that showcases where the herds are. So if you are stuck and you're trying to remember, oh God, where are they going to be at what time of year? You've got this map that you can refer to, which even indicates when they're calving and when they're crossing the Mara River. So it really helps you to visualize it if that's how you operate. The other one that I quickly want to show you is our activities webinar. Sorry if I'm going too quickly, but this one was a whole week that I did, and that's actually where the activity hub came from. So we did a full week showcasing the different activities that are available across Africa and the Indian Ocean. So what is a game drive? How do you sell it? You know, if you've never been to Africa, it can be a little bit, oh God, is that a David Attenborough moment? So you've got game drives, fly camping, walking safaris, golf, hot air balloons, scenic flights, helicopter flights, micro lights, wine tasting, cycling, hiking Kilimanjaro, horse riding, camel riding, macoroing, boating, surfing, whitewater rafting. When it goes, you get the point. But each webinar is only 10 minutes long, and it gives you an idea of the key USPs, where you can do it, how much it's going to cost, and any age considerations. So I really do recommend you look at those, especially if you have a request and you're not entirely sure how to sell that particular activity because you're not into it, so to speak. Not quite done. Under our marketing support section, we've got, this is where you can navigate to go to find your photo library. We've also got our public relations and social media spaces. So what we did for the public relations was a traditional print PR webinar where we had Lisa Granger, who is the Lux Times editor, come on and talk about how to build relationships with the media. If you are looking at expanding your traditional print PR journey, this is a really great webinar for you. So, you know, understanding how to write a press release, how to write effective PR, understanding the whole concept. Under our resources section, we created a PR dictionary. We've got startup guides, and there's a downloadable press release. The idea being that we're really helping you on that journey, and it is just a starting point, but it's all here for you to access, like I say, completely free. The useful tools, again, are the ways that you might want to enhance your PR, and then contact details. The social media one I really also recommend, particularly for teams who are looking to expand your social media, or if you're an individual independent agent, how to make your profile pop, understanding the algorithm. What tools can you use to create useful and interesting content? So we've got all of that in there. Under the resources section, I've created a social media holidays calendar, a dictionary. You've also got a downloadable PDF that showcases all the different apps that you might want to use to create content. like I say, our calendar, you've got relevant days for Africa like World Hippo Day or World Lion Day. Don't forget that those days exist. So if you do have a global offering, don't forget those Africa and Middle and Indian Ocean specific days to help promote those areas. Last but certainly not least is my inspiration corner. So great if you've got time. I know people are pretty time poor, but whoop, in our yes, our blogs, podcasts, and books. We've also then got access to Travel Africa magazine, the digital version, as a member of the Travel Hub collection. So under our blogs, you've got very top level information on different destinations. So, you know, the top tens and the how-tos. So you get a bit more insight, and it might just help you with your sales pitch to get that client across the line, or indeed give you a bit more insight into destinations that you're not necessarily familiar with. So I do recommend our blog section. Under our podcasts, again, we direct you to a few podcasts that might be fun to listen to, Africa-centric as well as global. So I really recommend that you check that out. And then our book section. So fun stuff, serious stuff, again, where you can go just to get a bit of inspiration. If you haven't read Peter Allison's Whatever You Do, Don't Run, I highly recommend it. It's basically him being a young guide doing crazy shit. So yes, I really recommend it. So I think that that's about it, folks. I am just going to flip over so that we are on the questions, and I'm going to take any questions now.